Hello everybody, I am the LightningTurk and welcome back to another Call of War role-playing round. So the interesting thing about this specific role-playing round is that it actually hasn't started yet. So this is the 1925 onwards roleplay, a slightly altered history. This is a training roleplay in order to get a base group together in order to create, larger scale rounds on Call of War and to just encourage the RP community on that end. I've also been doing the same on Conflict of Nations, and I will soon be doing a training round on New World Empires as well, so I'm just going to start on every single end. However, back to this roleplay. So this roleplay is 1925 onwards. It was done in order to not really get into land swap at all. This round will have no land swap whatsoever. It's going to be on the 22-player map. It's the one with, parts of, well, most of Europe, parts of Africa, and parts of the North American continent. So, yeah, as an introductory note, it was just that I've seen several role plays in the previous weeks die within the first 3 weeks, and some even sooner, as I participated in some rounds to just gauge where the RP was at, just like RPs in general were at, yeah, were at on the Call of War forums. However, it wasn't really all up, not really what I thought it would be like. And in order to promote some sort of active communication and, I guess, higher activity, I will be requiring that players join the Discord server, which is basically the RPU Discord. I've created a separate category for the 1925 onwards roleplay, so just feel free to ask someone once you get on the server and you'll have access to it. So now moving on to the roleplay lore. The 22-player map isn't exactly the most historically accurate thing that's ever been created, so it was just in an effort to provide some sort of realism. So yeah, our story starts in the 1860s. The failure of the United States of America to reunite has led to the full establishment and recognition of both the United States of America, formally renaming itself into the Northern States of America, or the NSA, while the Confederate States reaffirmed its sovereignty by reestablishing itself as the Southern States of America, the SSA. In all this chaos, a breakaway state known as the Republic of Michigan was formed, which is just our sort of logic to be creating a Michigan AI. I don't really know why it's there on the 22-player map, but what are you going to do? So, it is now the year 1925. The past war has left both Europe and the rest of the world in partial ruin. Hungarian refusal of the Treaty of Trianon has led to its invasion and annexation by Romania. It's weird, but the 22-player map doesn't have Hungary for some reason. I don't understand why at all, but again, I can't really do anything about it. Greek failures in the Turkish War of Independence has led to Italian and British governments granting Greece control over Cyprus and the Isle of Rhodes. So, Cyprus not being split in half sort of triggers me, but I can't really whine at this point. And the Russian Civil War has ended in an uncertain compromise between factions, partially recognizing the sovereignty of one another, in which both new republics are formed and nations such as Finland gain vital regions such as Northern Karelia. So as you will be seeing in the future on the 22-player map, Karelia exists, but it's not really where it's supposed to be. I guess I'll get into that in future videos, assuming this round is created in the next, I guess, week or so. So the obvious rules within, across 90 to 95% of role-playing rounds, or just 100% of legitimate RP rounds. No trolling, no gold usage is allowed, gold mark, anything, ducats, things of that nature. No land grabbing and random invasions. We're not here to kill each other off, unless they're AI. Please be respectful, follow the rules, post on the DE, and yeah, that's essentially it. And then the other possibly obvious rules, but the more, I guess, the game info, essentially. 1 day will be 6 months, therefore 2 days is 1 year in game. Have general knowledge of post-World War I history, because if you're playing as, I don't know, the Weimar Republic, you should probably know why it was created and why it exists. If a nation becomes 5 provinces, other nations planning on taking it over have the ability to vassalize that nation. And then vassalization is economic and military control over that specific nation. Also, be mindful of relationship statuses with other nations within this time period. What buildings can you build? Build whatever you want. Unit limits, none. You can research the hell out of tech. It doesn't really matter. After all, we're just here to RP and just enjoy ourselves. However, there will be some sort of, I'm gonna say automated, but not really, manual system to control aggressive expansion. So this will be known as infamy. And if you guys know about the game called Victoria 2 by Paradox, you'll sort of understand what infamy is. So infamy is essentially the aggressive expansion counter for this game in order to ensure that players aren't expanding wildly. So the infamy cooldown means that infamy, so it'll be based on 50 infamy. So 50 infamy is the limit, anything above 50 triggers a coalition war. And then this infamy cools down over time, so every 5 IRL days or 2.5 years in the RP, the infamy will drop by 5 points for all nations. And then ways for you to gain infamy are below, which include, declaring independence from your overlord, taking a province for both sides of the war, as in if you take someone's province and that person takes it back, you both gain 5 infamy. Declaring war on a country, which will give you 10 infamy, and things of that nature, which you can clearly see here and will be able to view on both the Discord server and the forum thread, which is this. If you're at war with a country for more than 3 years, the infamy cooldown will be negated for you, which is a soft way of, nudging you both towards peace. And if you guys don't, I'll have to step in, which would not be preferred. And then infamy is lost if you grant independence to a vassal state, assuming you have one. Anything under 5 provinces is vassalized, as I went through, and then if it is inactive, it loses its provinces as per the infamy rules, meaning that AI nations are also subject to infamy. At this point, I'll have the thread on the forums. It's been up on the forums forever. I do believe 3 more countries. So the Northern States of America is free. Someone should apply as that. The Kingdom of Romania is free. The Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic, the USSR, and the Transcaucasian Democratic Federative Republic. So those 4 countries are free. As soon as we get those 4 applicants, I'll put in the ticket to start the round, and I will start the round as soon as humanly possible. So if you're interested, please feel free to apply and join the RP. Thank you for your time and consideration, and peace.